Okay, so it's been a few days and I've tried to record this video a few times and I just haven't posted it because it's a hard video to make. It's interesting because I'm just kind of going through something right now which I've already explained, but it's kind of colliding with a different part of my life too, where because of all of these situations and just losses and just everything, the cumulative impact on me personally has just kind of hit a peak. And the way I've described it in the other videos that I created is it feels like hitting a runner's wall. And that is exactly how it feels. And I think it's exhaustion, but also just even moral exhaustion, where I just feel so disgusted by the trajectory our country has taken, work everywhere has taken, just the moral impact on everyone at this point. And I know that there are people who would fully disagree with me on this, and that is their right. I don't want any arguments. Like, if you think otherwise, that is your right. I don't even care. Like, you can think otherwise. I'm not here to change your opinion. And I don't want you trying to change mine either. Not that I wouldn't be willing to listen and put myself in your shoes, I would. But for me personally, in my life and my experiences, I have hit runner's wall. And I think it's actually exhaustion. I think it is. I think I have physical exhaustion. I think I can no longer go. Like, I've just been pushing myself through all of these really hard things, like my husband dying and just the whole single widowed mom with no support system at all, because my family's been long gone for years. And my late husband's family hated me. They were not a support system. They were actually very mean to me after his passing. And I tried to make things work with them, and they would just send me these mean texts, like on my birthday, and make me cry. And they thought that they were doing it. They have their own reasons. They thought that it was acceptable because of their idea or concept of me, which was inaccurate and whatever. There's no convincing people that have a set opinion of you. My advice to anybody, if you're trying to convince someone of the nature of who you are, but they are firmly set in believing you're something else, just walk away. Just walk away. Don't do it. There's no point. Don't. I spent a lot of heartache and time truly trying to convince these people that I'm a worthy human, and it took a lot out of me. I might actually be okay now, or not okay, but I might actually have another year in me if I hadn't wasted my time with them. Because that absolutely adds to the exhaustion or whatever the heck this is. But that's fine, but anyone, I have enough life experience now to understand that it's okay to shed the layers of what is not you. And sometimes that includes people too, who just are unwilling to budge in their opinions of you, or their opinions of your life choices. And for sure, there are people that you can have differing opinions and you just don't talk about it. And you can still have some semblance of a relationship where you do talk about it, but you're both respectful with each other. And those are worthy of working on. You know, it's worthy to work on it and to still continue to try to have some semblance of a relationship with people like that. Absolutely. Like, you can be different and still have moments with them that are absolutely worthwhile, and they add to your life. I'm talking about people who just they take away from your life's energy because of how badly they treat you, or how much they firmly believe that you are not as human or as worthy as they are. Worthy of respect, worthy of not being dehumanized or diminished. That they will just diminish or dehumanize you, or laugh with somebody who is doing that, and say, oh, it's just a difference of opinion. You know, get over yourself. You know, no, just walk away from those people, man. It's not worth it. You know, and now if they're willing to come back to you and say, I'm really sorry, I care about you and I didn't mean to hurt your feelings, and this is not what I want to do, and I think it's worth it to not do that again, and I understand what I did, and I'm not going to, you know, and I'm not going to do that, and they really don't, you know, they really change. Great, because relationships are hard, and you know, everyone's going to have blunders, and everyone is going to have mistakes, and everybody is going to have moments where they say things they don't mean. But you know, you just have like a certain quality where you're able to discuss it with some people openly, and with other people, sometimes you can't really discuss it openly because they'll gaslight you and say, well, it's just you. Anyways, if somebody's willing to discuss it openly with you, and they're willing to sit down and say, I'm sorry, I see my part in that, I understand how this made you feel, and I don't want to make you feel like that. And they're willing to be open with you and just work through it, that is a person that you want to build something with. That's how it should be. Somebody that cares about you and your feelings, even in friendships, you know, and family relationships, just anything. They know how to deal with conflict, you know, and because conflict will arise always. It's just the way it is. It's life. It's human nature. Anyways, I've done a lot of shedding of people who couldn't do that, and I'm just continuing to do that, actually. And it's not even like oh, well, you're going to end up alone. Actually, no. I found myself in really, you know, friendships and relationships that are much more healthy and beautiful, and with people that do have the ability to do that. And so, or just don't, there's not much conflict, you know, because they're just really great, respectful people, even when we're disagreeing, you know, they're not going to dehumanize me. So anyways, I've been able to spend more time on those relationships, and I've found more people like that in my life. So I feel like shedding people who don't do that for you, and who don't care, like they don't want to understand. They're thinking about themselves and, you know, their own hurt feelings or whatever else it is. Like, they don't care what you're going through. They don't even ask. They just make their assumptions on you and whatever. Like, I don't know. And And then they get together with other family members, and the smear campaign, you know, begins, right? It is what it is. Those people don't care about you. Just let them go. They don't care. So my advice is absolutely walk away, because there are plenty of wonderful people that aren't going to do that. And then once you let go of people who behave like that towards you, you find that you will have more time for people who aren't going to be that way. So I've shed a lot of people, but I'm not alone. As a matter of fact, I find that my friendships have grown more abundant. So I I don't know how that works, but that's, you know, that's my advice. If something is not working, and you are being treated really terribly, just, they're not going to change. Just know that, you know, you can't change the spots in a leopard. Once you learn somebody's pattern, it's highly unlikely they're going to suddenly shift course. So the better thing to do is to walk away and just have faith in yourself, because you're going to be okay. Anyhow, with my own exhaustion, I got ready. The last time I made a video, I got ready that morning for work, and then I started having a panic attack, and I just couldn't do it. Like, I couldn't get in my car. I couldn't. Anyways, if you've had a panic attack before, you understand how it feels. And so I just logged in from home, and I actually wrote out this email saying I think I might need to retire. And to my boss, to see what, you know, because I've been with the company so long, I'm like, what are my options? Would the company retire me? Like, what am I eligible for? And I was just ready to completely walk away from this 18-year career of mine, because I just feel like I can't go anymore. And I had a therapy appointment that day at lunch hour, and I'm really glad I did, because my therapist, you know, we've been having sessions since around the time my late husband got sick. So it's been years, and she's seen me go through all of this, and she knows my trauma before all of this. And she was like, you know, I think you might actually need a break. Like, I actually think, and she started asking me specific questions about what I'm feeling in my body and like what I'm going through, which these are questions she all know, you know, like we've talked about this before. But this, whatever is going on with me is like it is like it feels like when you hit runner's wall. And anyhow, so I went ahead, and my boss talked to HR about retirement, and I'm not eligible at this point. I am 2 years away from my eligibility, or 5 years away, one or the other, right? But he did mention that I really should look at medical leave as an option to see if I would potentially be approved for that, or just some kind of FMLA. So I went ahead and applied. So that's what I'm doing. I think I need a break. I think I need time to heal, and my doctor agrees with me. Whether the company will approve it is something different, but if not, I'm literally going to have to quit, because I cannot do this. I cannot be there. I don't know what this is that I'm going through, if it's just something that's temporary or if it's something longer term. I know I'm not alone in it. I feel like even as a country, the U.S. together collectively, the world even, we have all been through just these really terrible events. You know, and it's, if you already have your own trauma going on before that, you know, going through COVID, and then just like all these really big events. Oh my God, it really is so overwhelming. And I think all of us are just so burnt out. And if you're working a high pressure job, which I have been for many years, although my last team wasn't, they were more understanding. They were very supportive of me after the loss of my husband and just having to take my daughter to sometimes bi-weekly therapy for the loss of her dad. And, you know, we were busy, but it wasn't overwhelmingly busy to the point of like having to work, you know, just anyways, it wasn't having partners yell at us and complain, you know, constantly and putting enormous amounts of pressure on us for these reports, and then having to work even, you know, long hours and still not completing everything because it's impossible. So that pressure just kind of broke me. And I told my boss that. I'm like, look, having those really complex, those 8 projects that I needed to finish in 2 weeks broke me. Like, I can't do it. And then having partnering groups lodging official complaints to my boss when I needed some more time to finish things, or if I made a tiny error with a filter, because I'm new and I'm still learning the reports, and it's just unreasonable. Like, who on earth can work like that under that kind of pressure? No one can work under that kind of pressure unless you're a robot, which is what they eventually want. They don't want humans, they want robots. But while we're still in this transition and we are still humans, you know, there needs to be some kind of leeway, or a functional environment that isn't a pressure cooker. Anyways, so this whole situation just kind of broke me, and it was like the last straw of a million straws. And then just the ramping up of AI so that it can take over for my role and basically train it, you know, eventually training it. It's just dumb. It's just dumb. Anyways, yeah. So I have hit, I don't know what this is, but I feel like walking out of my house and walking into a forest and just not looking back. And I cannot do that. I have a daughter I need to raise. And she needs me. I'm her only support system. And if something happens to me, there is no one who can raise her. She will be orphaned. So I have to take care of myself. I have to get through this. And I might be able to find something else within the company, but before I do that, I cannot go to another team right now in this condition because I'm completely burnt out. I mean, I have a total exhaustion. So I'm going to take time to heal, and then I'm going to look for something else within the same company because I want my gold watch. I want to hit my 20 years and I want to retire with the company. Maybe not 20 years. I might have a little more longevity or something, but something different. I don't know. And that may not even be possible because of AI, but anyhow, yeah. When my husband got sick, it was a complicated disease. He was hallucinating and hearing things. And there were some nights he would just walk out of our house. And I was really afraid that one day he just wouldn't come back. And it's something in him that I've always been drawn to. Like, even when he wasn't sick, which I guess he always was sick, I just didn't realize it. But even when it wasn't as prominent, I was drawn to that emptiness in him for some reason. Like the pieces of him that I felt like where he could just walk away and being the fully capable person that he was. He's so creative. He was an artist. He was so creative. Just brilliant. And there were these moments with him that we would have these long conversations where he would share his thinking, and I just really loved the way he saw the world. And he would talk about, eventually, like, we should just travel and go and see all of the state parks and the national parks and just everything. And I love the outdoors, and so of course I was down for it. But I also wanted a normal, solid, stable existence for our child, and he did too. So it was just kind of a thought that we always had somewhere in the back of our heads. And I don't know, he had a plan for everything. Um, he was just really kind of a brilliant thinker. And he understood patterns really, really well, um, just by observing stuff. And so I was pretty reliant on his observations in some capacities. But when he got really sick and he would just start walking around town, he would call like his parents, or he'd call his friends or others, and just kind of lost a bit. And part of me understands that feeling now, because I think I was drawn to it, these pieces of him, and I didn't consciously realize that. But I feel like I was probably drawn to those pieces in him because it mirrors something in myself that exists already. And so I just have this sense of feeling really lost, and like I just want to walk. I would never like walk away from anything, but I mean, like, I just want to take these walks places, and I want to be out in nature. And like, I don't really know what the future holds anymore. And I just kind of need time to gather myself and remember. And when I say remember, I don't mean like some past existence that I've already had. I mean, like, if you pull apart the word re and then member, it's like a putting back together, in essence. But in order to do that, you really do have to remove the layers that aren't you first. And I think that's what people, including myself, like, we don't often understand, is that it's not about adding to your life. It's about pulling the pieces of your life off that don't belong, the things that don't honor your soul. And then remembering yourself and your life and putting it together in a way that does honor your soul. And so I think this is where I'm at right now. And some people call it like the dark night of the soul. And I don't know if that's what this is, because I've gone through those in the past, or I think I have, I don't know, maybe I haven't, but maybe that's what this is. But this is some sort of continuation of things I've put on hold for a very long time that I need to work through. And the truth is, I don't want to be dehumanized by anyone ever again, anymore. Not, my work life, where that complaint was lodged to HR. I do not want to be dehumanized by some tech bro up in the Northeast. I don't want to be I don't want so much pressure put on me to complete reports that have no bearing on anything, really. I mean, we're not doctors. I'm not saving lives. And these reports have been on hold for how many years? And suddenly you need them done tomorrow? What the fuck? Excuse my language. I'm sorry, but anyways. Yeah, these things that like it's, I think we're collectively going through something, and I can't be alone in this, I know I'm not, where things are being shuffled. You know, life is being shuffled. And there are a lot of ways this can end. All we can control is ourselves and how we live within it, what we choose to do. And I think I need to figure out what that is for me. And it's not going to be, I'm not going to be able to just continue to work and figure it out. Like I actually need a break, and we'll see. We'll see how that all plans out, because whether my company will honor it and treat it like a sabbatical, like that I absolutely need, because of health reasons at this point where I have to get myself healthy again and regulated, or if they'll just deny it, being the corporate company that doesn't care about their employees, you know, that has a lot of talk out of both sides of their mouth about culture and about caring about people, and then when it boils down to it, they don't really give a shit. And we'll see, because maybe they do. Like maybe they do, and maybe this is something that can be worked out. Either way, how they choose to behave will ultimately make my decision, you know, and how I choose to, what I choose to do. And those are kind of tied together at this point, but I mean, ultimately they may not be. We'll find out. I don't know. We'll see. It would be great if it just wasn't lip service. Like if they really need it, like we really actually do care. Like you've been here for 18 years and, you know, we actually care about your health. So we'll find out what that looks like. But anyways, for now I'm just going to try to get through it and to take walks and to be out in nature and put myself back together, remember, and shed things that are not worthy of my soul, so that I can make room for things that are. And at the other end of this, I hope I have more clarity. All right. Thank you.